here he is coming to find his peace with his daddy. And that's what we're supposed to do with God. That when we leave him out of things and in the chaos, but all we have to do is look to him and find our peace. So this is Starbucks. And as y'all know, I love horses. You know, it's crazy. You know, GM and Dodge can't make nothing as reliable.
Mm.
Better put Ford in there too.
But I've learned since having these guys that our relationship with our horses is a lot like our relationship with God. How it's a submissive and give and take relationship and trust. You got to earn a lot of trust with these guys. I mean, they're a herd animal, but they rely on that. Everything about them, they can pick up on how you're feeling. But you see this round pen, we don't put them in here as a trap. This ain't a prison. This is where we come to learn each other. Where he comes to figure me out, how gentle I am, and let him know he can trust me. This is where we earn their trust. Take this off. This is his fancy halter, by the way. But we're here to talk about obedience, and no better way than to show it with a horse. That some of us have felt God's pressure to move and do. And it's not always him speaking out. It can just be you're in line at a grocery store and just feel an urge. And that's the same thing as to training these guys. It's all about pressure and release. And I can use physical pressure, stating my presence, or noises, which that's where we put them in to work them, get their feet moving. And it's again not punishment. If I can control his feet, he knows that I'm the boss. And all I'm doing is showing him, hey, I'm in control. We can give him a little turn. See, horses have to learn everything on both sides. One eye is seeing a whole brand new part of the world from the other. What you train on one side, you got to train on the other. And that's why we reverse them and have to show everything twice. Ooh. Oh. And this right here is probably the most beautiful moment in horse training. Submission. They'll let you know whether they trust you or not. But that's how raw horses are. They don't hide feelings. They don't hide anything. Kind of same as us, but we try to hide it from God. We hide what we're feeling, but he comes in this pen, like in Matthew 6:6 talks about our secret room where we go to pray. And that's where we go to learn our Father, how gentle and how loving he is. And we come in here and he shows us like, hey, I'm in control. I got you. You can trust me. You know, I showed you your broken heart and I fixed it. These guys was born to be free. And we look at them in the wild and everything, and they're still not truly free, but they are beautiful out there. But we bring them into captivity and show them, listen, you ain't got to worry about your next meal. You ain't got to worry about the winter. You don't have to worry about anything. And you can see he does not have to worry about his next meal. He eats very good. We provide everything for him. But yet we ask for a little bit of a relationship. So as you break them, you introduce them to a saddle. And again, a lot of them, at first they see it as punishment. like this is awful, and later they learn that it's not punishment, that's a gift. That's our gift for them, because that's what connects us. That's how we go through life. And then our reins that we give them to show them where to go, where to point them. And then they learn trust. He knows I won't put him in any situation he's going to get hurt. So relax. But speaking of pressure, we get in life and God working us in the round pen says, I need you to go here. Hey. I need you to go out, 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 out. It's like Noah when he tried to, not Noah, Jonah. Jonah. I like the name Noah. Like Jonah, when he was running from God, he didn't want to do what he said. So what did God do? Put a little bit more pressure on him. When he doesn't want to go, I add a little bit more pressure. Sometimes it takes getting all in their business. Sometimes you got to get all up on them, and he makes several tools for that. But eventually, when he did what he was supposed to, the reward came. Pressure was dropped, and the reward came, and God showed how pleased he was. But sometimes that's why we got to be submissive to him. It's not about us. You can get saved and go through life, but it's not about that. It's about following. Jesus is very kind, and you can go through life, but you're missing out on a plan that he laid out for you. Just like when I bought him, I had a plan laid out for him. I knew exactly what I wanted from him. And when I got him in the round pen, he didn't know his worth, but I showed him. I gave him that. I gave him his comfort, his care, and gave him confidence so he could go and do on his own that he would have never figured out on his own. But my goal is not to be just his master, it's just to be his father, his partner, and his friend. And that's all I ask for him. And he asks for comfort in return and a reward every once in a while. He gets a treat. But if you're not feeling that pressure every once in a while, you're not sure what I'm talking about, refer back to alignment. What's your alignment? Because if we're not connected, he's not going to do what I want him to do. He's not going to read my signals. So that's why we need to go into our rooms and read and pray and figure out what kind of father Jesus is, what kind of master he is. And it says several times that he's a good and gentle and meek. People give him the wrong understanding that he rules with an iron fist, and he absolutely could. He absolutely has the power. I have the power to just beat this horse down and to just force respect, but then he has no spirit. It wasn't free will. And there's a term for that called sacking out. Some of you might have heard it, sacking out a horse. Back in the old days, they'd tie a horse up and beat them into respect and absolutely break them down to where they feared. And Jesus doesn't work on fear. Now, there's still, sacking out is still around, but it's not that. It's a matter of taking a plastic bag and whipping it around them and get the spook out of them, get them used to things. Like one of my favorite horse trainers says, give your horse a heart attack. It's free. teaches them not to be afraid. I think Jesus does that too. He sends us in stuff that looking in, it's like, don't know about that. And he says, I've done been there. I've already got it planned out. And I'm going back in with you. And that's what I do with these guys. I send them in. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm sending them into. I've done been there. But then I don't make them do it on their own. And then I'm there after. There's never a time I'm not with them. So make sure you get your alignment. Figure out where you're at and learn. Learn your Father, learn your Jesus. Because this is the greatest feeling on earth, is to be doing what he asked. And this was been an urge for a long time to do this. And it's great to finally do it, because you know, people tell you once you speak, good job, you know, you did great, and you don't care. You don't care to hear that, because there's such a peace, there's such a gratitude that you feel and comes over you after. That's just unreal. Just like I think they feel. Which if he didn't feel that, he wouldn't be standing near me. And that kick would have been towards me that he was showing off with. But we gotta pray and talk to him and learn him. And then I promise you, he'll show you how gentle and how good of a father he is.